I'm Sue Ann. This is Patrice, and we have a podcast. It's not black or white, table talk. And we're going to share with you the tea today.
Yes.
What is the tea?
So, what am I worth? That is our topic today.
Yeah, what is your worth? What is your worth? What is worth to you? Like your, self-worth. What is, when you think of how other people look at you, what is it that you feel your worth is? Are you valued at your money, your influence, your connection? Look, I'm like, let me pop off the camera. Hello. But are you, is the total sum of you about money or influence or connection? Is that it? Or what is your human worth?
I would say a lot of mine is going to come from experience, and that's building confidence, because I feel like I've been in places where, and I think we've all been there, right? We work a job, and to me, I've always felt like I've worked above idiots. And to know that you are so much more knowledgeable than them, and when you try to bring a little bit of what you have, I guess delicately to help bring a process better or make it better, sometimes people are intimidated by that, and that can be frustrating. And I think for me is not putting myself in spaces and places that do not represent the best version of me, and creating those spaces. And so for me as an entrepreneur, I have created spaces where I don't have to feel like I have to prove anything. I know my worth and my time and demanding that. So working in finance, and I focus more on retirement income planning, there's so much. I feel like my eyes are slightly cut off, so I don't want to feel like I'm
let me
do this. So working in finance, it's a lot of tax codes and information and processes and how things operate and work. And those things take a lot of time to learn. So I recently had someone reach out to me about infinite banking. And this is where you can use a life insurance policy as your bank account. And he's just like, hey, Patrice, you're the best person for this. And he tried to sandwich me in first. He was just like, congratulations on this, that, and the third, on your marriage, the fact that your husband adopted your kids and all these things. And I was like, thank you. And then this is where the asking part came in. And he's just like, hey, you might be the best person with it. I know you know about debt elimination, and this is where we utilize insurance policies to build cash value, where you can use your money to pay off debt, but that debt is still growing inside your policy. So your money is constantly making money. So he wanted me to take 10 to 15 minutes to go over that process with him. Here's the thing. It did not take me 10 or 15 minutes to learn that. That took me months to learn that. And while I would love to have spent time with him, that was something that wasn't money making for me. It wasn't going to do anything for me. And to be fair, I'd rather charge for that service because you're not on my team, so I'm not making a benefit from it. And it took me 6 to 8 months to learn that process. And it's a process I'm still learning how to use. So for you to come and ask me for my time, that's where I have to ask,
well, what is my worth? Yeah, what is my worth? What is it worth to you to learn that information? Because just you go to school, anybody that goes to school for, cosmetology or trade schools for painting and concrete and different stuff. Who would you ask your friend? Hey, man, can you just come over for a case of beer and do the thing?
And the thing is,
am I worth a
and what am I worth to you that I'm asking? How I asked you, I said, Sue, I want to put up a TV in my house. How much would your husband charge? But I asked you first because I did not assume you were going to give me your services for free, because I respect you and I'm going to pay for your services.
Yeah, services.
I want a discount.
Even for hair and stuff, friends that do hair, and you're just that because that's your friend. I feel like my mindset is more the terms of how are we helping each other out, and because it's your friend, that you would go to so-and-so shop over here and pay X amount of dollars because you're like, oh, they're really good. It cost me $350, but man, it was so worth it.
Yeah.
Your friend who also does an amazing job is very reputable. Sometimes some people expect their friend to give it to them cheaper because they're friends.
Yeah.
But I would think because you're friends, you still know my value.
Exactly.
And if you would go pay somebody you don't even know and love and care
1,000%.
about, why wouldn't you pay me the $350?
But I would much rather learn the skill from you and also contribute to what it is that you do, because I'm like, hey, you worked hard to learn. I don't know how to do it,
like,
so I have to pay.
Like this guy, like if your price is $50 an hour, whatever it is, then it's $50 an hour, and it's so worth it. And I'm so thankful because I'm going to gain value out of that.
And what's crazy about it, I think about relationships in general as a credit and debiting system, right? Mm-hmm. We have people around us that are constantly debiting from us, take, ask, and there's no credit. There's no value to that relationship. So in that same statement where he was asking me to give my services for free, I then said, hey, this is what I'm doing right now. Check me out, right? I wanted to see if this person was going to credit me for what I was doing, because I'm going on a TV show soon with the Great American Speak Off that is hosted by Peter Vargas and Grant Cardone. So it's basically like American Idol for public speaking. So I sent him my TikTok link to check out my story.
Yeah, this is the free resources.
Yeah, and I am still waiting for him to look at that TikTok video, because we know TikTok will tell you if somebody watched something that you shared. So it's very interesting that you didn't want to support me when I was still talking to you. You just wanted to take from me. You just wanted to debit from me and give me no credit to my situation, other than telling me, good job for all the things that you're doing in your life. Can you add to mine free of charge? Absolutely not. Not in this economy.
Well, let's ask our audience. Let me say hello to everyone that I can see so far. We got Brian, Donald, Shauna, Balseca, okay, Cotton. Sorry, I'm just like trying to figure out these names.
Hey, girl.
Kathy B, huh?
CJ.
And so
hello.
let's ask you guys, like, what do you feel as your worth? And say in business, because we are entrepreneurs. Yes. We do several things. But as a business, do you feel like your friends and your family should come to you and pay you the same as what they would pay someone else? What are your thoughts on that? Because I don't know if there's really a right or wrong answer. Yeah. We all have our opinions and thoughts and stuff, but I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, because there is a good and bad way to do business, I guess. But as far as knowing your worth and setting your worth at the price that you're worth, whatever that is, and wherever you live. We all live different places, so how much the dollar sign that you put on something is different in one place to another. But also, while you're thinking of the question and to answer the question, it's just like, but is the worth of me, is it connected to, a lot of times it is connected to your assets, how much money you have in the bank, all of those things. But at the end of the day, when you lay your head down at night, is your worth calculated in all of those things? What is your worth to you? So I'm a mindset coach. I also, work in a platform called Body. So I'm a partner with fitness, nutrition, and now really gaining momentum on mindset. And we're doing a healthy habits course starting January 1st, where each individual person, our habits are different. And knowing what we are worth to ourselves as an individual is so important. We are literally a universe within ourselves. And nobody is going to fully know you but you, and nobody is going to fully be able to control you and do the things to you like you can do for you. And so knowing your worth, even that part of the healthy habits course, it's more of a, how is your movement? How is your water intake? How is your, how are you waking up and how are you going to sleep? What are the things you are telling yourself, and what are the directions you are pointing yourself in? What path are you going on with your body, with your finances, with your spiritual, whatever it is? Do you believe in the universe? You don't believe in anything. Whatever it is, you believe in yourself, you believe in your kids, whatever it is, creating healthy habits in the climate that we are in, because it's so fast paced, it's so full of busy, it's all the information is cram, and there's so much to do. How do we gain the momentum in knowing our worth and being happy in the moment? And so that's kind of like where I was going with thinking, knowing your worth one way, and also back to, insurance policies and things like that, being able to put those things down, because we can just say, oh, I know everything I have, I know everything I own, it's all up in here in my head, and then you fall down today and you're gone. You know what you have, but you're gone now, and nobody else knows what you have. And so even if you have 3 books and a blanket that you want to give to someone, just having a plan to put those things somewhere. And with, insurance, your finances, knowing what your finances are is literally top notch in journaling all of your things, knowing exactly what you have. Because otherwise, if I came to your house today and I had you open up your schedule book, would you first of all have a scheduling book? Would you have something that you write in that tells about your life and what you're doing for the day? If not, then we definitely need to talk. But if I came, what would be on there? Would you be directing your own life? Are you driving your life, or is everything else driving you? Are you in the back seat to everything else going in your life and all the noise? So that goes to what is knowing your worth. Do you know your worth? Like, I know what I'm worth. I'm worth a lot. Yes, you are. You are worth a lot.
And I get it too. We struggle and bounce around with that idea, because even for myself, I was 270 pounds at one point. Over the course of, I would say, the last couple of years, I've gotten down to about 211 and still trying. But even then, like, that was not easy. That was a fight. I had to fight for my worth, because even then I still would say, I relapsed, right? And I would go into the binging of the eating and eating all the bad things. I knew that was stuffing up my body, but I would say I became more disciplined as time went on, because I feel a certain way. And I would say those fall offs happened less frequently and happened in shorter amounts of time. So instead of maybe a week of binging, it'll go down to just the weekend, maybe just one day of bad stuff. And I'm like, I didn't like how that feels. So now it's like I'm taking the things that, hey, don't make me feel good, and doing less of that. And then I'm realizing how badly it's affecting my body and stuffing me up, and my body's not doing the things that it's supposed to do. So I feel like your worth, there's so many levels to it. Financially, your influence, places that you go to too. It's just like, are you putting yourself in the best position too? Because a lot of times we want in certain environments, but we have to realize when those environments are no longer serving us, because it's hurting us. And unfortunately, that's the part people don't want to do, is walk away. And again, food is good, right? Like, even if I'm equating food to people,
100%.
Like,
that. I mean,
sometimes it's these little highs
healthy
that
habits.
get you, and you have to be able to break those cycles. And that is what's hard.
Couple of good books. If you like to read books at all, I'd like to recommend a couple. When we were talking about food, a lot of times food, a lot of us have used food as a source to go back to with emotions. So there's a book called Turning Off the Tap. If you like to read books, you can download it on Audible. I think there's your local library. You can download an app and get it free. However, and then another one with the healthy habits. Atomic Habits is such a great book to learn how to, switch your habits. Because, it's not something, habits aren't formed overnight. It's something consistent, like you said, over a couple years. Like, you just kind of consciously are doing things, and you fall back and you're like, man, I have felt like such crap. But I know when I was doing X, Y, Z, I was feeling so good. And knowing that, so like you joined me with Body, and you were already in that journey. You had already started doing those things, and you were just like, I need that extra active movement part to it. I need the schedule.
Yeah, I need it variety.
Variety.
I
like it. We'll just keep it. Yeah.
Variety.
Tomato.
And everything that I'm doing, like thinking about even finance, you diversify your portfolio. I wanted the same thing when it came to my workout. I wanted more options than just the gym, just walking around. Because sometimes I don't want to leave the house and I don't want to get dressed. And I can be in my shorts and t-shirts and my, my little workout area that I have set up.
And just can do it whenever you want to. And that's the beauty about, so you can come on TikTok and you find workouts and do the things, and you can go on YouTube and do the things. And we've all done that. But the platform that I work with, you literally have, you get a personalized plan to you. We work together to do that. And then if that's something you're just like, you know what, I'm not on that road right now. I think I'm going to try something else. You have so much available to you. You can still go in and guide your own you can guide your own workouts and make sure that you are going on a schedule, because they're like 3-week blocks or 6-week blocks or whatever it is. And so you know that when I come to you virtually looking at your schedule and you've written down what your workouts are Monday through Friday, or if you're doing a 6-day workout, I can open up your book and say, oh, looks like you're working out today. Even if it's on your calendar for 9 and you don't get to it till 4, hey, it is consciously on your calendar.
It's an accountability for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, and I love, my favorite thing is, utilizing my iPhone to its fullest capacity. And I have like reminders. Mm-hmm. And I so love going there and going, I did this, I did that, I did this. And it's such a good feeling to know I've done the things that I set out to do. Because sometimes it could just be so minuscule. Like it could just be like today I need to go pick up me and my son's medication from the pharmacy. But I didn't get to that yesterday, and it bums me out that I didn't get to hit that little mark. But, I'm for damn sure.
But it's going today.
That it's going to be taken
rolled
care
over,
of.
yeah.
And plus there is a time limit right there. You're going to be like, hey, if you don't pick this up, we're going to put it back on the shelf. Mm-hmm. So, but, definitely. So, yeah. So what is your worth? What is your worth?
Yeah. So who all is doing some, like...
I know what I don't want.
What you don't want?
People telling me what to do, okay? I'm very, very independent and when it comes to that way. But again, that's me creating spaces and being a part of spaces where I can navigate those things the best way that I can. Because at the end of the day, I'm still growing. I'm still learning what I like and do not like. So I'm going to make mistakes and be in places that don't. But I think the most important part is how I respond to those things. Like, This is a lesson. I learned from that. I won't do that bad thing again because I didn't like how that made me feel.
And I like that, that's the kind of people that you don't always have the same friends for life. Yeah. If that makes sense. I mean, people, you've grown up with people, you love those people. It's not that they're no longer your friend. But as you grow and you mature and you want to do the things in life and you say, I want to grow and I want to do the things, you begin to appreciate and accept being in rooms of people where you're learning, because in order to be a teacher, you also have to be a student. Yeah. And in order to continuously stay a good teacher, you have to also stay a good student. Yeah. Which means you're learning from people, whatever age it is, somebody older than you, somebody younger than you, doing the things. Like, I had to learn to back off. And what I mean by back off, I'm talking about a lot of things. One, my attitude, because of how it made me feel. If I have a certain attitude, starts to heat me up inside and feel a certain way. That's what everybody feels when they're starting to get angry, right? But for me, like, how do I keep my zen if I'm entering into that space? But also, on a flip side of that, when I'm exercising, we go gung-ho into something. And you're like, I'm going to be strong. I'm going to be lifting 100 pounds. I'm going to do things. And then you really hurt yourself. Or you injure yourself, and then you don't do anything at all for however long, and then you're back to the same place you were, versus backing off a little and be like, all right, I can do 5 pounds. I maybe one day I can do 100, but if I'm realistic, I'll be happy to get to 15 or 20 at whatever, just whatever it is, just learning to back off and saying, it's okay if I modify in life. It's okay, because so many people are pushing out and saying, no, you gotta be 100% of, but your 100% is your 100%, and backing off and modifying for you may be 100% to someone else's 20% or someone else's 10%, and what your 100% may look like to someone else, like that's 200%, that's too much, we're also different. And we were talking about that earlier, competition. Yeah. And reversing competition to, we're not in a competition with each other in life. Like, we are so amazing as human beings. We have so many talents and things in life to offer, but we individually don't possess every single thing. We don't. That's why there's such variety. And so when you enter into a room, rather than thinking that you are the competition. I mean, I own, my husband and I own a painting company. We're general contractors, and there are a lot of people that are competition as far as they're the competitor. But in a market that is so large, I mean, yes, sometimes you're bidding on stuff and you're competing, but whatever the best reputation of someone wins. And that, and looking at that as you continue to grow, there's so much money to go around. There's so much work to go around. You don't have to be like, that sucker over there stole my stuff, because
it's like when
at
It's
the end
like,
of the
what are
day-
you taking from yourself when you put yourself into a competition mode? And especially working in the financial industry, I mean, there's probably thousands upon thousands of insurance agents. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm looking to partnership with different IMOs and agencies because we don't have to be under the same umbrella to benefit from each other. We could catapult some type of union and partnership where we can bring both of our assets and our skills to the table, because that's going to bring more. Because at the end of the day, we're all going to attract a different type of demographic, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
You know, different people might be tuned to me than they are to you, and vice versa. So what happens like this, what we're doing now, what are we doing? We're bringing it together.
Yeah.
So people can see that, hey, it doesn't always have to be a competition. There is a union part of this. Because again, I'm going to get what I'm looking for out of it, and you're going to get what you're looking out for it. And if we get mush that together, what could we do together?
Yeah,
you know,
how
big
much
can
bigger
we spread
can we
this
make
platform?
this? Yeah, how can we spread joy, and how can we spread value into the world with each of us having our own individual talents and what we truly have to offer. And that was the other thing, just knowing this, being happy to grab people into your team that, you know, just basic stuff like, you know, school teachers, when school teachers are together, this school teacher does this better than this one, and this, that, and the other. And, you know, the time can be enjoyed in separate rooms and what they do best. Get my words together here. So, you know, but just, you know.
And I would say that one saying that says, you know, hey, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And I think that translates to not just being the smartest person in the room, but if you think you're the only financial advisor or the only body coach or the only meal prepper person in the room, then you are sacrificing the reach, because you're not going to catch everyone. We need variety. This is a new word for me.
Variety.
We should have Veridity. We need, like, there's certain words that are the same word, but I don't want to use that word because I feel like it becomes PC. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Like, I forgot the word I wanted to use, and I was like, I don't like that word. And I want to make sure whatever I'm saying communicates effectively to our audience. You know what I mean?
Like, well, I said, like, this brought me back to my dad. I was like, what is that one thing? It's like rice. But how do you say it? And I was like, it starts with a C. And he said, couscous. And I'm like, yeah, every time I I'm like, I see it on recipes and I see people cooking with it and stuff, and I have it. And so when you see it in the store, you're like, couscous?
Yeah.
Nobody would know.
So I want to use the word that is similar to it. So I should probably look up synonyms before we start these type of things. But you know, some words they have multiple meanings.
She's extremely intelligent.
Multiple meanings, but I feel like depending on the crowd, you're gonna think the other thing.
Yeah.
And it's gonna take away from the entirety of the message, and that's what I don't want to do. But you know, but at the same time, hey, if you feel like you want to serve that solid position, maybe you're in the wrong position, especially when you're in places that are meant to expand the platform to grow and develop. So if you want to be the only one of your kind, baby, the boat said two of every kind. So you can't be the only one on there, because how are we going to reproduce and grow if you are the only one? Because there is more than one way to do something. And people need to know what their options are and what's all available to them. Because, I mean, especially working in sales, the one thing I've learned is people want to know what they qualify for. What can I get? So if you limit what I can get, who's stronger in terms of and I don't know what that means. Because it depends on who. When we say who's stronger, what does that mean? Like,
I would like to think that was a good one. So we're not in competition. Do we want to arm wrestle?
No. I am enjoying a very soft life, and I like to put my energy into my work
over here.
and into my munchies rather than figuring out who's stronger.
I love that. But so we need veridity.
Veridity. Is that the word we're going to...
Veridity.
Variation. There we go. I'm going to go ahead.
We do need that. A variety in your team. You don't want everybody like you. I don't feel like that. I'm weird. Like, I don't want a whole bunch of me. Like, okay, you weirdo. Like, I'm looking at everybody like, okay, you weirdo. We're getting nowhere. Can we?
And I think it's exciting to have because it's also a challenge to yourself and how you respond to this. Because I feel like, even in our network group, there's been like I love Brandy. She is such a
Oh my gosh, we have this friend Brandy.
bright soul, and it's like, and so am I.
Oh my
but I'm
gosh, she
not
needs a
offended by
TikTok.
that. I'm just like, yes, I'm not the only sunlight in the room.
Brandy needs to TikTok her comedy,
seriously,
I swear.
But I love seeing variation of people, personalities, and bodies, because that's what really, it's a reflection of our country, of our world. I want to see the difference. I want to see all of the amazing beauty that our country has to offer. And because for so much and so long we get divided and all these weird things, and it's just like I hate that. Because I just feel like there's so much awesomeness. And I always think of if you've ever read the play, The 6 Degrees of Separation, it talks about you are literally only 6 persons away from whatever you're trying to achieve, whether it's a person or a connection you're trying to be. I think about how I met my husband, how I met you, like how many people were between me and you. I think about my daughter met Gina's daughter, and then I met Gina, right? And then Gina invited me to the wine tasting. So I met Sydney, and then by proximity, I met you.
Wow.
So even though it's like, and there was probably a person that even connected Avery to that person to keep that 6-person degree. But it's just like, but if I were to shut off and start to judge people or penalize them for being different than me or being more amazing than me, what am I actually taking away from myself? What if I shut her down or shut Sydney down, or what? I would have never got to you, and we would have never been here if I would have held certain prejudices or jealousies and all these weird things. It's like you're taking from you at the end of the day. And I love when people, and I feel like I always say I'm the Oprah of people, because I love when I encounter people and I challenge their beliefs. And then I tell them that this is you growing. You realize that there was something wrong in that thought process, and this is where your opportunity to grow, to either stay in that, or you're gonna miss out on all this amazingness. Because you're taking away so much joy from your life by holding on to these narratives and belief systems that you've been told and conditioned. Because you have to ask yourself, what did that person encounter that they decided to wrap it around everybody, versus making that an individual situation about that one person. Right? And I have to take myself back sometimes too, because I look at that when I think of people's ideas, I'm like, does everyone think like that? Because I need to exit. Or is it just him? Or is it just her?
And sometimes it really is nothing about you.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
When people are like, being a certain way, it literally is nothing to do with you. They may be pointing something about you to make you feel insecure and bad about whatever it is. But 9.5 to 99.9% of the time has everything to do with what someone else is feeling inside.
Yeah, it's them.
And when you go into a room with that idea of judgment and all of those things, are you adding joy to your life? Are you stealing joy from your life? Like, or debit or credit? What are you doing in that situation?
And you've definitely helped me in those situations where you're just like, hey, you're taking from you. And I'm like, you're right. Like, I really am. I made this not fun, and I'm still going into these spaces and not happy. I'm like, wait a minute. All right.
Yeah,
let me take this back.
My joy. I'm not letting any of that steal my joy.
Then, if I go in with the best foot forward and those things still happen, I now know that I didn't ruin the moment that environment was, and now I make that decision. Like, okay, now what do I do about this?
I want to share something with you, because I think, like, as a motivational speaker, you literally have this. You have this already, but it's something a couple of different people I've been watching recently. And I've adopted it myself. So just in the last couple weeks, every time you walk through a doorway, maybe not your bedroom or your house, maybe your house when you first walk in, before you go into a room, when you know you're going to be meeting people or new people, you're going into a social event, you don't know anyone, you're going to a wedding, you're going to anywhere you're going, say that you're crossing a threshold. And before you go in, you stop for a moment and think to yourself, I am an amazing person. I have so much to offer the world. I have so much to offer myself. And when I walk through this doorway, I have something to offer you.
Yeah.
And it is my joy, and it is my kind, and it is what I am worth as a human being, the love that I have inside. I am literally going to help people today. Whatever it may be. If you wake up today and say, you know what, I am grateful for the breath of life, you can join into a room, you can walk into a room and think of that gratefulness you have for the breath that you walked in that day, and share that with someone else so that they can continue to think.
Challenge accepted. I'm like, I guess where I'm at is I think for going into 2020, I mean, even now is I'm standing on business, right? And I'm going to start calling you out. Like, at the end of the day, I'm going to start asking the questions then. So if this is the game you want to play, then show me your worth too. You know what I mean? So especially if others want to challenge,
No, that's great.
like let's do this. But I mean,
challenge someone to share their joy with you. As you know, when we sit in rooms with people and you don't know anyone and you're like, just introduce yourself. You're so good at this. Yeah. Like, hey, hi, I'm Patricia. Who are you? Tell me about yourself. And when you start to ask people about themselves, they want to talk. We all want to be seen and heard.
Sales tip number 1. People love talking about themselves.
Yes, they do.
So always ask people about themselves. They will.
Here's the challenge.
I was. I will take that back to in my early days in the finance world. I remember sitting at one of the CEO's tables, and I wanted to ask, how could I be a better salesman? And I said, literally that was the question. How can I be a better salesman? And he straight up told me, you talk too much. And I was like, okay. But I was ready to receive the criticism, because that's the one thing people cannot take is constructive criticism. I can take it. So everybody else around the table was like shocked and in awe. I was not. I was ready to hear, okay, baby, challenge accepted. Let me hear what you have to say. And he says, think about sales as being on a date, right? Male and female, typically it's the female always, giddy. So the man already knows that he won. He doesn't have to do a lot of talking. He just lets her do all the talking. He just sits back and ready to snap. And so those are the things that I took into my sales, and it's not to distract them. It's really because I'm listening. But it also helped the conversation go better, where I wasn't filling empty space and talking too much, where I could talk myself out of a sale. So I'd be sitting with my clients, and husband and wife typically, and I'm like, how did you guys meet? And we all know there's 2 sides to that story, maybe 3 or 4 if you ask my husband. But, and then they just go on and on and on about their story of how they met, whether it's the kids, the family, and all these things. But it really ties themselves into what it is they're doing, because what they're doing is for their family. So I want to see them talk about their family as we're doing the things, setting up their finances, setting up their insurances policy, setting up their retirements, so that they can live comfortably. So, hey, I want to be in retirement and think about these things and not be like, how are we going to pay our bills? Like, the market just crashed. I lost 17, 20, 30% of my 401k, and we have to pay for medicine. We have to pay Part B, all of these things. I help rest assured that those memories get to go smoothly into your retirement years, so you can enjoy those memories and not be frustrated and think about those memories. So thanks.
With that being said, if you are coming into 2024 and you want to do these healthy habits, you want to start doing some things with your finances, you want to start doing some things with your health and your wellness and your mindset and all of those things, reach out to us. We are here for you.
Yes.
My niche is in keeping promises. That's, one of the things that's very difficult for us to do, that we are so down on ourselves, is when we tell ourselves we're going to do something and we don't do it, because we all do it. We've all done it. But what I help you do is to keep those promises to yourself, that you're going to, get on track, stay on track. When you fall off track, you're going to get back on track. Do the things with finances. Patrice can help you to plan long-term, making sure that your children and your children's children are set up with the finances that you have today. And whether it be, you're on paycheck to paycheck, that's okay. You're paycheck to paycheck. A lot of times you are paying in somewhere taxes that you could be taking those taxes and allocating those taxes to yourself and to your money later on in life. Would you prefer Uncle Sam to have it, or would you prefer to have it for yourself?
Yeah, exactly.
And so, that's just those are things that you really got to think about as you plan your future. And so in gaining healthier habits, and just being conscious of taking the driver's seat of your life and knowing your worth. What are you worth?
Because I would say your health and your wealth are synonymous. They're one and the same. Like, how is your wealth healthy? And is your health healthy, right? Like, because I think about being rich in my health and also being healthy in my finances. And this is what I mean, where they're synonymous. What do you do to take advantage of it? And it's not an overnight process, but you can start now with just the little things. Like with body, it very much was able to be incorporated into my lifestyle, because I can do 15, 20, 30-minute workouts and still get the same sweat and tired and frustrations that I get when I go to the gym for 2 hours trying to get those same accomplishments. And it's like, what can you do to fit these things? And back to atomic habits, because I feel like we're wrapping up, right? Yeah. Habit stacking. So there's a lot of things mindless things that we do, like scrolling on the Instagram, watching our Netflix and stuff like that. For right now, I'm hooked on FM radio, the radio, listening to all these wet pad stories. I think that's how it's said. But I listen to those when I am doing my makeup, So
Yeah.
that's literally like 30, 40-minute time when I'm getting dressed, listening to my makeup. I get to listen to my stories of, oh, Blaine. And
But you're scheduling that time.
but
You're scheduling
I'm packing
those
it in
distractions
there.
that would normally be a
Exactly.
distraction when you're just like, I'm doing it this time that you should be doing something else. But putting that in your schedule.
Exactly.
And, the whole mindset thing, everything that you do starts with how you think. Everything that you do, whether it's finances, fitness, nutrition, talking to your friends, talking to your family, hanging out, going here, going there, it all starts with your thought system. It all starts when you wake up early in the morning. And if you wake up in your morning with intention, with direction, with a schedule, then you're going to be a lot more successful than if you don't.
1,000%.
So, hey, do us a favor. We are working on the logistics of getting our podcast going and our TikTok, all the other things. So we're just using my account. Patrice, what is your handle?
I have no idea.
Can we throw it in here? She's Patrice Johnson. I feel like it's.
I feel like I need to figure out what my TikTok name is, but because I do all
Let me see if I can add
things.
her in here.
It depends on how you look for me, but Oh My Days Patrice is a start. But my handle is Millie Mommy Insurance _.
I wonder if it will let me.
Try Millie Mommy at Millie Mommy. So let's do that.
I don't know if you can tag the way you do on Instagram.
Right?
No.
Or do the other thing where it lets you like add someone, or let's do the more. Guys, we're still figuring this out. Where are the things? I swear there was a thing last time.
What about this little home button? Press that and see what it.
Feel like that might not do the thing. Oh,
Look at that.
Look at that.
Guest.
That is.
It's locked though.
Oh, because remember I told you you have
Check
to
requirements, unlock. So I would have to unlock multi-guest. I've already done all the things.
Oh, the confirm your age. I told you. See, that's the one thing that's not done.
It's not checked, but before it had an X on it. It was red. It was in the red. Oh, co-host.
Oh, can you do that? Oh, you still can't even do that.
No,
So let me
I thought I could
see.
before, but interact maybe.
I wonder if it tells me that you're live. Let me go.
Sorry, guys.
here.
If you are a creator already, please give us a clue.
I'm gonna.
I will buy a vowel.
I'm on the live. I'm here.
There we are. So there's Patrice. She's saying hello, everyone. Go follow Patrice.
We have to
Follow
figure
me.
this out.
Hang out with us. We're gonna do these. We do these every Friday around 9 a.m. So if this is your time period, then you'll see us.
I look super cute today. We
so
look
super cute
today.
You looking good, girl. She's wearing that, rocking that lipstick. Like,
See if I got it.
Oh, we need to.
Wait, I think
Do it
it's like
again.
slightly delayed though, so I have to.
Sorry.
Oh, don't do that. No.
Oh damn.
I give up. We'll just take screenshots for when we do this next time. That is so funny. Oh my days.
I don't think I can. Yeah. Yeah, we can just screenshot it. So anyway, I hope you guys had fun. And
I had fun.
Your insurance needs, your moving your needle in your life, whatever you have going on in your life, I hope you go today and you go with joy and that you embrace your own heart so that you have enough to give to someone else.
And know your worth.
Know your worth. Bye.
All right, bye, you guys.